Well, good morning, Sandy.
Amy, good morning. New background for you, and it's not fake, it's real.
It's real, new background, new location. We are officially in Kansas City, which is kind of exciting. I've been working on getting settled this week. So, yeah,
Very good. Congratulations.
thank you. Thank
It's
you.
a
I'm
lot of work
enjoying
to
it.
do that.
It is a lot of, oh my gosh. I will tell you, that's the thing. On Tuesday night when we arrived, I was exhausted and I was just like, this is so much work. And I was texting my friends on Monday. I'm like, moving sucks. I was like, I know there's good at the end, but oh my gosh, it's a lot of work.
It's it's a lot of work, and there was something with me because both I moved. We'd done several moves and consolidations because of two different homes, and then my father-in-law too, moving him, that it has stayed with me, this desire to keep things simple. And I almost get anxiety with I don't want boxes in the garage. I don't want stuff in the closets and moving storage around. There's actually a TikTok that I heard about people that have hoarding parents and how it stresses them out because they're like, my parents keep hoarding things. And now I'm having to clean a lot of that out. I'm not going to check it out. So my parents aren't hoarders, so I don't need to worry about that. But I think more about for my kids, it's like, I'm keeping it tight here too. I'm getting
Right.
rid of things, and when they're old enough to enjoy them, I'm giving them some of their stuff, right? Rather than me holding on to it.
Right, good. So I have actually, we did an informal survey of a group of professional organizers. And because we were having a conversation, there were about 12 of us at the table, 12 to 15 of us at the table. And the conversation was about people who hoard, and it started with something about, oh, I have, an aunt who had this tendency to hoard things. And then um, someone was like, oh, yeah, my parents did. And so we did a survey of this 15 people at the table, and half of them had that in their family of some kind, which I don't think is a normal statistic, but it almost it fostered this need to be more organized and this skill to be organized and
Right.
streamlined and things like that. So I don't know if it's an official thing, but I will say at that table, half of us had some sort of hoarding family, a family member who had a hoarding tendency. So
I
anyway,
think it makes perfect sense, Amy. And actually, I have an aunt that I moved several times that, I couldn't believe what she accumulated from the time before, because part of it is sometimes you move them, right? And,
yeah,
my grandmother was like that. And yeah, now my parents weren't. And I wonder if some of that came from my mom. She's very organized, if that came from her background, right?
right, right.
But
Interesting.
something on
It's
her
all
shelf that
very
isn't getting used, these memory quilts, it's bothering her that the kids' t-shirts are on the shelves and they haven't been made into quilts yet. That'd be the opposite of hoarding, right? Because there's a
right.
gazillion things like that. But yeah, so here's the coffee. Cheers to clean closets.
I will tell you, I think I have a problem. That's what I realized on, let me see, Wednesday. Because Wednesday I had some work to do, like real, actual at the computer. I got to get some work done. And the apartment was chaos, complete chaos. I couldn't stand it. I kept, because I could see something and I knew where it went. And I was like, all right, I got to put that away. And so one of my friends told me, she's like, that's productive procrastination. I was like, exactly. I was
Oh, I
procrastinating
like
my
that.
real work, but I was being productive doing other stuff anyway. But I could not walk past something and not put it where it belonged. It was driving me crazy. So anyway, that's a lot about me.
That's
So
a
today,
good update. And today's a fun episode. So
yes, today's a fun episode. I'm looking forward to this. Today we're talking about favorite things because, I grew up with Oprah. I don't know. Did you grow up watching
totally.
Oprah? Yes.
Totally. And there's a lot of spin-offs from that now, but Oprah are
Yes.
her favorite things. We love that.
Yeah.
We still
Her
do.
favorite things. Yes. I love her list. And I actually looked up her list this year.
Good.
It's fascinating. I'm always like, wow, how does she discover this stuff? Because that looks so fascinating
Right.
and indulgent too, a
And
little
then
bit indulgent.
I notice on a lot of my feeds, like morning feeds, this came to me too, like Katie Couric's email. She'll list out, especially because it's a holiday time. Here's, they don't directly say, Oprah's favorites or using the same terminology, but best buys, my favorite gifts to give. But there's a lot of favorite lists out there. And I find myself going to those lists and saying, oh, what is a good buy? What is something I should think about for myself? I mean, I love Amazon's most popular picks. There's just something about favorite lists to hear from different people that I find fascinating.
I agree. I found a cutting board that, and I haven't ordered it yet, but it was someone's favorite. It was a cutting board, and you could get engraved in it a recipe and someone's handwriting.
Oh, wow.
I know, isn't that fat? I haven't ordered it yet because I'm trying to get my hands on the recipe, but
Right.
I have someone in mind and I have a recipe in mind, and I'm just like, um, I'm like, that is such a cool thing. And it was on somebody's favorite list. I don't remember whose because it's been a while. But anyway, so what are some of your favorites? What's one of your favorites you wanted to share?
Well, one of my favorites, okay, before we do our favorites, one question for you, because I think this would be interesting. How did you, what was your method for compiling your list?
So I'm just gonna say you sent me this idea on Monday or Tuesday. I don't remember
You were
when
in the middle of moving. I
I
thought
was
that'd
in
be
the
good
middle.
while you were driving to think about.
It was great. And so I kind of thought about it some. I was listening to a book, so I didn't think about it a lot while I was driving. But once I got here, um, what I looked around my apartment, I was like, what are the things that I kept that I hung on
Right.
to? Because I was very intentional about surrounding myself with the things I love. And so that was my methodology. What was your methodology?
You know, I started out with what are the things that I've been buying because or what I've been bragging about or talking about because you tend to talk about those things when you're with friends. And I have downtime now because I'm not moving. So I've been spending time having coffees or lunches. And it's like, what things do I talk about? But I actually went back, Amy, and looked at where I've been spending my money on subscription. Because, where you spend your money recurring are the things that you really enjoy and what you want to buy for other people for gifts. Right. So that was kind of my methodology. And so some things on my list are kind of boring because they're not like Oprah saying, wow, this is the all new.
Yeah.
But some of my, I don't think so. To answer your question, my number one thing is actually on Katie's list. But it wasn't Katie who put it on my list. It's because I follow her. And I think I brought this up before. My number one thing is Jones Road. It's Bobbi Brown's new makeup line.
Oh,
And so Bobbi Brown, I listened to How I Built This podcast from NPR way back when, and it was very fascinating how Bobbi Brown got into being a makeup artist. I didn't know much about her before then. I followed this podcast and I researched her and I loved it that she was my age, an ordinary person. She gave practical tips. It wasn't like how to be a model, how to be your best self, which is what we love, right? How to be our best version of ourselves.
right.
So the funny thing was, it's called Jones Road. Her non-compete, she sold her company to, I believe, Estee Lauder, one of the big franchises. Her non-compete came up around 2020, and she started a new line of makeup. And what I love is being our age, I can connect with her. She made it very simple, like her best things. You're not overwhelmed by here are 50 different types of eyeliners. She picked her best things. It keeps it simple. Here's the half 2-pack of 4. She has something called Miracle Balm. You just tap, 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 and just put a few little things on your face.
Oh, I love it.
Her brushes, but it's called Jones Road, and Katie Couric loves it too. So it's one of her favorites. And I love it because it takes the decision making out because I feel like she's already learned everything. This is her essential kit. And I just buy her pencil. I just buy her eyebrow pencil, and I go through her little tutorials on the right color. But yeah, so look at me getting excited. Look at this little tiny, it's just a little tiny makeup. And she says, just, if you want to freshen up, put a little bit on your eyes, it's just a very simple little pack. And yeah, I've been very happy, and now I'm addicted. And my
Ah,
sweet comment to me was, when I said, oh my gosh, I love this stuff. He's like, you're not going to start wearing makeup, are you? And I thought, how sweet. I don't want the husband who says, oh, please do something about what's going on here.
right. That was sweet. I love that.
So Jones Road, Bobby Brown, and I guess she has a huge TikTok following where she shows a lot of different things. I follow her on Instagram, which gives a lot of videos. So I would definitely, I would go to her website, her Jones Road website, and very easy to pick out colors, what have you. And my last thing on this is she actually did a master class on the master class series on how to apply makeup. And again, very practically. And I did her master class. It was really pretty fun and interesting.
Oh, interesting. I will tell you, whenever I see Bobby Brown interviewed, and I used to see her a lot a long time ago, like 10 or 15 years ago, probably before she sold her company. Um, I always liked her authenticity, her everyday approach to everything. You
Right.
know, it was just it felt comfortable. It felt nice.
I feel like she's my friend now.
Good.
I watch her videos and I'm like, how is this? But yeah, she's
Okay.
just that person that would say, hey, here's and
Yeah.
I started giving up on makeup, and I realized like eyebrows do matter and they thin out when you get older. And she
Yeah.
gave very practical tips, like, because I put it on, I'm like, oh, I don't know if I'm doing this right. She said, apply it like little micro, just like the hairs, tap, 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 tap. And it makes it more natural looking than, you
And
know,
like a pencil
right.
mark.
She's just follow along, just like your
Yeah.
eyebrows. And then it's much easier and it's natural. It's like, wow, there you go.
Oh, hey, there you go.
All right, so there's you can tell I really like it because I'm all excited. So what was top of your list?
The top of my list is something that I indulge in, and it's good tennis shoes.
Ooh, I got
I
a list.
love, I've gotten two pairs of Hoka tennis shoes,
On my list. Yes.
and I will tell you, they are a game changer for me. And I didn't pull them out to show. It was, um,
You get a
I
buy.
I love I love them. My feet never hurt, my knees never hurt, nothing. I know I don't have any trouble. But I will tell you, my husband has knee issues and feet issues, and he walks a lot, and he doesn't invest in good tennis shoes. And I keep telling him, I'm like, listen, I don't have any knee and feet trouble because I've invested in good tennis shoes, and they're expensive, but I love them.
And Amy, had you had them prior to this year? Is it a new thing or is it something you've had for a while?
Um, Probably this last year. Let me see. Yeah, it's been a little bit less than a year that I got my first pair because I'm on my second pair now.
So I always had this because of running, and some of my friends you would have the Hokas. I thought they were just, hey, a really cool, expensive shoe, but you have in running, you don't want to switch brands. But I thought
Right.
of them as a running shoe. My husband, who got Hokas for hiking and really likes them, came to me with he came out of his Outsider magazine on a review that Hokas are best for running. And I thought, okay, I'm going to switch. And for my half marathon, I got a pair. They have a lot of structure. They were great, right? And the older you get, the more you need that. But then the funny part is, Amy, for my birthday in September, a friend sent me a pair of Hokas as a gift. And
Oh,
they were just probably the lower priced Hoka, a run around. They have a completely different feel for my running shoe. And they are my go-to tennis shoe. I like my Allbirds. I have different shoes, but I pull them out to wear around the house, to walk the dog. They're my go-to, and they have a completely different feel from the very structured, expensive running shoe that I have. but they told me at the running store that they get as many healthcare workers in to buy the Hokas because they're on their feet all day, and that's what they wear to, for comfort. And so they, at the running store, they're selling the structured Hokas all day long to workers. So I thought
Wow.
that was a good sign too.
That is a good sign. I love them. They are my favorite. And here's the funny thing that makes me laugh, actually, is people notice them, which is bizarre. My other tennis shoes, I'm like, nobody ever asked
Oh,
me.
look at those Asics.
I know exactly. I'm always like, and it tends to be younger, like in their 20s. Oh, you're wearing Hoka? Like it's my girls' friends, and they're like, I'm always like, it is hysterical. So I'm always like, all right, I feel a little trendy in my Hokas.
Both of mine are really fun colors though. Like one is like bright purple with bright pink, the daily ones, and the other one's like an orange with a blue. So is that a Hoka thing to make them brighter colors? I don't know. I've seen maybe blue too.
Maybe because I have my old ones were a teal, like a bright teal, and mine are now like a blue and yellow.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love it that we both have that on our list. So there we go.
Did you have it on your list too?
Oh yeah. I'm highlighting, the top of the list.
Yeah, I know I've got my whole list. Okay. What do you have next?
You know what? I'm gonna go with something easy. My flip belt. Have you ever had a flip belt?
No. What is that?
So it is, you wear it around your waist. It's just a cotton and has little compartments in it. Okay. So, and you can see this,
Yeah.
for those, I'm going to give a verbal description for the podcast. It has a little clasp for keys, what have you, but it's just a cotton belt. You would think it's the top of a waistband of like yoga pants.
Right.
And when I was for half marathon training and I'd have to do these long runs, of course, you don't want to leave anything in your car. And I have my little compartments, and in the summer, during the winter, I have pockets. So zip up pocket, zip up pocket. This, I was trying different things like my little dog belt, fanny packs, and I looked online. It's like $12 and it fits like the top of a yoga pant and shorts. And I found that even if I go into town for actual yoga or what have you, and you don't want to mess with the purse, all the way around my waist, Amy, I'd have, for when I was running, I'd put a little energy bar back here. I'd have my phone fits perfectly on there. My AirPods, if I want to stick them in, a hanky, but it has compartments all the way around. And I'm telling you, whether you run, walk, or anything, it's a nice alternative, especially in the summer when you don't want to wear a lot of clothes and have
Right.
everything or even a couple of things right in there. So, and then I had a gal that I run with that says I guess there's several varieties and colors, and she said she has three. Oh, then just throw them in the washer. It's just cotton. So just
That's
wash.
awesome.
Yeah. So
I
flip
will
belt.
tell you,
Flip belt.
when I did that 39-mile walk and we were training for that, finding something to hold all of the stuff
That was
was
so comfortable. You know,
exactly, that was comfortable, that like it was a constant try this, oh no, we don't like this, and it was just constant. And I ended up getting like a fanny pack that had 2 water bottles to it, and it worked fine. But I was like, wearing it, I love that belt look, because that
even like on a hike, I would use it because, I want to take a picture with my camera and you're trying to get out of here, unzip a pocket. It really goes sleekly to the side, and it's just so easy to get in and out, and it's very secure. You'd be shocked at how secure, but think about a waistband, right? But
right.
yeah, anyway, I was so pleasantly surprised with my little Amazon $12 flip belt, and I love it.
Good. Good. Well, that's great.
All right,
All
what's
right.
next for you?
Okay, so I got this new thing that I'm going to share. It's a spice organizer. And because I am now in a small space, and hold on, I'm going to have to show my views and I'll show it to you.
Okay.
Because I had it off. But I got this because I'm in this small space and I don't have cabinets. So I got this spice organizer.
Oh my gosh, look at that. Just how it looks is wonderful. It makes
I
me want to cook.
know. Well, I told my husband, I said, food is now decoration at this house because I can't get everything put away. So I have my olive oil there and my salt and pepper, and then those spices. So this spice rack, I think it was right around $25. And it's little round containers that have magnets on the bottom and have little labels. And I got clear labels because I didn't want to make a statement with the labels. They had
Right.
them, you could do all sorts of fun things, but I just got the clear labels with the printed name. And it just kind of it looks cute. I was filling all my spices in there, and it was so nice to get rid of the jars. And I have now it's easy to grab when
You
I'm
can
cooking.
see them right away. You can see the color.
Yeah,
That, and so for the listeners that aren't viewing, it has this array of, just like looking at magnets on a refrigerator, in circular containers. So you can see, okay, very quickly, I'm looking for cayenne pepper, and maybe be too so easy to quickly grab. And I tell you too, getting different ideas for cooking and saying, oh, why don't I add a little bit of this to it?
exactly. You can see all that you have. And I didn't put all of my spices in there because I got a set, I think, of 25, but I put the ones that I use most. And then it has this is the part I like too, it has a twist lid. So it's a shaker or a pourer just by twisting it, or you can just lift the lid off and scoop it by a teaspoon or tablespoon. But
Nice.
it's got that option to do the shaking and the pouring too.
And is it something you can get from Amazon, or is it
Yes.
something you go direct to so Amazon, wonderful.
Amazon, and I think the Container Store has stuff like that too. I've seen
Okay.
it there. Uh,
Nice.
but it was right at $25. Definitely a new favorite thing. I've seen it before, but I never had a need for it because I like things put away. And so I didn't want to make my spices a a decorating item. And so, but here it's a little different and I love it.
Nice. Very good.
Yeah. All
Okay,
right.
I'm going to switch up to jewelry. And one thing I want, and people can't see, but you see my nails?
Oh
Bobby
yeah.
Brown, her big thing is she was doing somebody's makeup and she said she never wanted long nails because they get in the way. And that's my problem. She always has short red nails. And so I'm like, oh, I like, because I do get sick of the tap, tap, tap. And so I've been doing this short red nail thing and I really like it. Okay, so my next thing is, and I think I found her on Instagram, April Soderstrom. My mom, my aunt, and I, we always have little bracelets and things with the evil eye, which fends off,
Uh-huh.
right?
Yeah.
She has a whole jewelry line that has incorporated the evil eye. And this is my signature bracelet, it has all different colors and beads. I've got one with my little initials on it.
Nice.
Turquoise one. So it's like arm candy. And so casual, back to picking
It's like
jewelry.
arm candy.
It is. I'll wear all of them
It looks like a
sometimes.
candy necklace. That's what.
And it has and this one's actually a little bit more expensive because it's sterling silver. So, right now would be perfect because I'm a little bit more dressed up. But I look and it's like, okay, what little earrings am I going to wear? And I love my little arm candy. And I mean, they make great little gifts,
What was the name of that again?
April Soderstrom, Soderstrom. And she has, oh, and I actually got my necklace from her. See how it has a little smiley face. And so it's very sweet jewelry that would be great for gift giving or for yourself. Get yourself some arm candy and some fun casual jewelry that you can dress up to.
Arm candy. I love that. All right, that's a good one. Okay, so I have a blanket here because I wanted to share this. This is a Pendleton blanket.
Nice.
I am telling you what, somebody sent me this as a gift, and it is beautiful. Number one, it's wool. It is my favorite blanket to put on in the evening if I'm cold. It's great. It doesn't even match my house, but it still looks good because it's just classic.
How does it
Classic.
feel? You say wool, I think itchy. So I'm guessing not
No,
itchy.
it is not itchy. It's a nice soft wool. I don't know. Let's see. Does it say? Let me see. just says Pendleton. All right, it's 82% wool and 18% cotton.
Okay.
So it's got some cotton to it also.
And
Lovely.
how big is it?
Oh, it's huge. It probably, oh, hold on. Maybe it says on the tag. It doesn't say on the tag, but it is probably at least a queen
Really?
size, I would say. It's big. So comfortable, cozy, just a nice, luxurious gift to give somebody. Of I've loved it. We've probably had it about 10 years, and it's one of my favorite things.
Nice. Oh, wow. And so go to Pendleton website, do you think, for that?
I would guess. I haven't shopped for it in a while. I'll look it up while we're
Okay. Well, this one, my next one is paper. You know, I love paper. And I'm always talking about my quote book. 365 lovely thoughts each day of the year. This brown paper one day. But I had gotten this started in Boise, and I was at a little boutique downtown shop, and I had bought these and some quote cards. I love quotes. And when my book ran out, I looked online because I saw in the back it's called Sugar Boo and Company. And you can go to sugarboo.com, and they have more than paper products, but that's kind of their specialty. But notice it's all the brown paper. I've got a collection of brilliant quotations, and I'll pull these out to put in cards or in letters. I have my brilliant idea notepad that I keep little notes on. Our grocery list has a little cog on it. It says market to market. I've got my laundry list. So I've got all kinds of paper for different lists, grocery lists that look like something my grandmother would have used, with this cute little different decorative fonts on what to say. And I will always have I use my little daily for my list and write down the things I want to have. And I keep my little quote at the bottom and put them in.
I
Sugar
love
Boo.
Sugar Boo. Love that. I will tell you, when you can find somebody who is creating stuff like that that matches your style,
Right.
it is magical. I had somebody who was helping me with marketing one time, and she found somebody to do printables for us, the artwork for the printables, and it was amazing. I was just like, good for it. Like she connected with this person, and
Right.
it was magical. I was like,
I
she
would
did
be.
great. So and there's so many different people out there. And I will tell you, Sugar Boo looks wonderful, but Etsy is a great place to find stuff like that. You
Right.
can search notepads or inspirational notepads, and you'll find there's all sorts of different artists that are on there selling their stuff.
Fun stuff. And I love paper. I love cards and notebooks. And I've always that's one thing too, when we talk about our favorites. The funny thing that I thought about is, if I go back to when I was a young adult, what the gifts I gave when I was in college, because you give gifts of things that you really like, that you think your friend's going to like. And it's always been a little bit of makeup, a little bit of jewelry, the paper products, the athletic, it's funny how things change a little bit, but our go-to things that make us happy kind of stay the same. I like back to a good blanket. I haven't gotten one recently. It's more the making the blankets, the memory blankets.
Yeah.
Amy, do you have anything else on
The Pendleton, I did look it up, and they do
good.
sell it on their website. You can find
Good.
it. They're expensive. They're like $250. So that's quite a bit for a blanket. But like I said, I've had this for a good solid 10 years and love it. They have some beautiful ones on there. The one thing you were talking about, gifts we give, and one of the things that I set up right away when I moved in here was my wine. And so that's one of the things I give a lot, because I enjoy wine. I love getting new wines and trying new wines. One of my favorites though was that Naked Wines that
Yes.
I did that for a while and I stopped. I've got it on pause right now just because I didn't want extra wine to move. Um, but that was it is such a fun experience because you get these small indie wines that you can't find in the store. And I don't think you can. At least I've never found them in the store. And you got to try them from all over the world. Wines that I had never been exposed to before. And it was, if you like this wine, try this wine. So
Right.
it was a lot of fun.
And you're supporting the vineyard farmers and makers because it's really a direct, all the cuts that are taken in between come out of the picture, so more profits are going to them too. And it's really the small farmers.
Yeah, which was fun. And I will tell you, at our old neighbors, they are wine collectors, connoisseurs, or I don't know if they're collectors. They have a wine cellar though in their house, and they're wine drinkers because I say they're probably not collectors because I think they drink all their wine. Like we've been over many times and we were drinking their wine. I don't think anything is off limits in their wine cellar. That's what I would say. And so I had a rosé that I had gotten from Naked Wines, and they were over and we were drinking it, and they're like, "Oh, this is so good. Where can we get it?" And I was like, well, this is I don't know if you can get it anywhere, but Naked Wines. So they went on a hunt for it, and I don't know if they ever found it or not, but it was
Interesting.
I was like, look at that. There's some wine connoisseurs and they like my wine from Naked Wines.
And I love naked wines too. I agree.
Yeah, it was good. All right, so we are about out of time. Let's talk about the real and the ideal of this. Um, I'm gonna say the real is, oh, I'm trying to think of how to phrase this. Some of this stuff is expensive, and sometimes the gift isn't, if we're being real about it, we have to give what we can afford to give. And so being real about it is, some of this is luxury, some of this is indulgent,
Mhm.
uh, but sometimes it's the simple things that are enjoyable. A bottle of wine, $20 is a great gift.
Right.
So there's, I'd say that's the real.
That's very, very well said. I agree.
What
But the
about the
ideal
ideal?
is it's fun to have favorites. It's fun to find something you love.
It is.
Times that they might be expensive, but it's the simple things in life too. Of course, we're happy with our health and our happiness, but just listening to both of us get all excited over paper and makeup and shoes and
And spices.
wine and spices and let's just put it this way: the excitement is real because we do enjoy it. So
And
the
it's
ideal is making somebody else happy by buying them something and them saying, "Wow, this was great."
I know, very fun. It's always fun. I had one of my girls texted me last night and she was like, "What do you want for Christmas?" And I was like, "I don't know. I'm kind of in the getting rid of stuff stage. Like I haven't thought of there's not a want right now because I, have streamlined." And so a little bit, we were texting back and forth, and a little bit later I said, maybe some sort of event and tickets to some sort of event in Kansas City because we're in this new city. And she was like, yes. And I'm like, that's gonna like give us an experience, not a thing. And we're in a new city. There's endless things that we haven't done. So anyway,
Nice. I
experiences
love that.
are always great to give if you
That's a
can.
great idea. I love it.
Yes. All right. Well, thank you, Sandy. Happy holidays. Happy shopping for celebrating all the holidays. And just a little DEI tidbit that I learned the other day. Did you know there are 14 different holidays in December celebrated by multiple faiths?
No.
Yes, there are. So you can
Okay,
take
so
some
happy
time.
everything.
Happy everything. There's
I
lots
love
of
it.
holidays happening in December. So happy holidays.
All right, Amy.
All right.
We'll
Thanks.
talk soon.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Sandy. Bye.